You're almost tall enough to lane snare.
Do you like that step? Do you like that step?
He likes all sorts of the stuff.
Somebody smaller than you? Oh, careful.
Oh, what's there?
You got there, Snare.
Are you in charge of clicking?
Fancy some cough drops.
No.
Always good to have it here. That is very smart to have stashed away.
I'm going to take this cup. No.
Are you going to pull all the tissues out of the box today? There's a button. Is that a panic button?
I think it is, yeah, so.
Oh, Shanae, you better not push the panic button.
Yeah, I think that might actually be panic money.
Okay.
I don't know.
Good to know
But-
about, Shanae. You better not touch it.
What if it isn't? Just in case, don't touch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Always a smart idea.
What? Oh, it's from Sammy? Did Sammy get it from Sweet Park? And he's gonna. Oh, she's my wife. And I'm the new.
Yeah.
These are only so
They're
far.
only.
He's ready to open the ark.
Oh no, your water bottle's falling apart too.
No? It's just that I took it out so you can have it.
Trying to be so helpful. Oh,
Here. Here. Can you come here? Here. Want to sit here?
That's definitely true.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So Jeremy I was going to say, usually they come to Japan, but as long as I bring him back, in order to do that, I figure that seems to be one of the rules. I am not walk in, the first question is, where's the baby? The baby's not, in the door with me or proceeding. I'll do something.
You won't be doing just for the child.
Since they want to see him, I'm okay with it. It's not one of those where You know, people, Eric, people,
It's 6 o'clock. Let's do it.
All right, then let me get my talus on, and then we'll.
Rabbi Eric, Father Eric. I certainly don't go by. I certainly don't go by, you know, like Rabbi Daniel or anything, because I'm going to try to figure out who that might be. I can say that it's not my dad.
Welcome.
Yes, my wife Katie.
Hello.
Nice to meet you and your little boy.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
I'm pretty good today. You know, every day is
Well, it's the
different.
same as like.
God, I was sick for 3 weeks. I didn't go into the hospital for weeks. They were bringing me my medication.
I remember you came out to see me.
Hi.
Yes. And I want to meet
Then I will.
Rabbi Eric.
Rob Eric. Yeah.
Rob.
Well, they didn't do that.
Yeah, we're very excited, and you know,
My family.
hopefully he's nearing his end stages of study. We'll see. You know,
One never knows.
one never knows the travels.
You know,
that he
I
gets.
know with this one, he's always in education.
This is also true.
I've seen it. But I mean, I'm kind of enjoying, you know, what that last year I decided to retire and just appreciate it.
Amen.
Well,
All right, we're gonna get started.
I'm here because I want to see. I want to see it all happen.
Fabulous.
One of that first song in Jacob.
Yeah, if we can. I think it was on cable, wasn't it?
Then I should probably do the same.
Here in just a moment. No, Liana.
Liana, go sit down.
I love you. You can come dance in front with me, okay?
As you're saying, you can turn any word into a verb. He's like, why can't you carry somebody? So why can't I, you know,
They do it another language. I'm trying to think of English.
All right.
the roots,
I know.
there's actually a method through which a verb turns into form.
Start strumming in that way, like we'll start to get the hang of it.
Door, actually.
What's wrong with what?
Again, then you know more than me, so I can be quiet now.
Is the battery off?
Yeah, this is the third battery. Something's wrong with the thing itself.
Okay. Mark?
Okay, wow, yeah, 73, okay.
Mark!
Paging Mark Goldhammer.
Pardon me for a second.
Are you good to light candles? Beautiful. You're good. All right, Sinead, I think it's time for us to go sit down. There's a reading. I mean, you can go sit down. The reading is there if you want. Yeah. You do the English. Whatever's good. All right. No, we'll add Mark, do you want to just get a handheld for him?
Yep, and you can appreciate that I was like, is this a child step or a Jenna step?
It's a Jenna step. It is. I mean, there are also some of the youth group that uses it, but it's mostly just so I can see everyone and they can see me.
So you can see over the top?
Yeah. Well, because down here, like, it's fine, and there are times like I can basically sing, but it's absurd, and so I got feedback. I'm like, all right, I hear you. Fine, I'll use the child step. Now it's the Jenna step. We're good. We were just waiting to make sure that this. I don't know. We'll try. And then maybe we can have a backup and have the handheld. Okay.
Shabbat Shalom and welcome!
Oh my goodness. All right, you're going to strum it gently?
I've been told when Mark tells me to strum
When
it,
Mark
I
says he's a...
What?
That's still too loud. It's like we had our back to the
We can make that quiet.
That's really, really.
That is really loud. No, Amy Benton already requested, so the Bentons will wait.
I'm going off in Palace. I like to be in the loop.
Right. He's like, I'm gonna make
Oh yeah, no, he will.
How we doing? Mark, let's make it quieter. Alright.
Interesting how people are very biased towards
Is
that
that better? Is
side.
that good?
Yeah.
Okay, ready, Jen?
All right. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We begin with Lo Yisagoy. As long as the microphone holds.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hey, this does work. Well, my name is Eric. I think some people might know that I'm here starting this evening, and I often say that my wife Katie's here, my son Schneier is here, and he likes to make friends, and as long as I bring him back, usually I'm invited back. But it's a pleasure to be here and share the Bima with my acquaintance, my friend, my insert other good adjectives, Cantor Jenna, and to be here with the Kihila, with the congregation, and to join in the best time of any given week, Shabbat. Because for at least 1 hour, I've been told tonight it's only 1 hour, we can forget a lot of things. On page 2, we welcome forward
The Benton family to light our Shabbat candles. Now, Eric has said that it is on page 2. You have 2 choices this evening because it is Family Shabbat. You are welcome to use your prayer books, your Mishkan Tefillas, which are found underneath your chairs, desks, and the page numbers will be in the corner of the slides. Or you can look up, and you can be a part of our kahal and our community by looking up and reading what is on the screen. So you have multiple options today for your prayer service.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
So now I invite children to get near their parents in case they're not, and for those who have children to be with them.
Where did she go?
Did we lose my child? She walked away. She's dead. I'll go find her.
Okay.
And we have the opportunity to bless our children. And so for those who have a boy with them, you can lay your hand on their shoulders, on their head, and say, may God inspire you to live like Ephraim and Menashe. And for the girls, same thing. May God inspire you to live like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. And for all the children, and if you don't have one with you, choose a neighbor that you treat like a child. In a good way. And we share in the Hebrew, Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. And what I want the children to do is to look at your parents' face, because the parents are almost always conveying a message to you. We just used words for it to be a formalized blessing. But look at them, and parents, look at your children, and just take the opportunity to appreciate everything that can be said without words, and the love that moves between your sight. Amen. Moment, we're going to click to the next slide. And so this is a question initially for people under the age of 18. I'm going to qualify that. How many people have seen the movie Aladdin? Okay, wait a second. I'm getting ahead of myself. But this is still for people under the age of 18. So what is like the biggest part of Shabbat in our prayers? What's the biggest part of Shabbat in our prayers? Do any of the adults want to venture a guess what the biggest part of Shabbat is in our prayers?
What?
Oneg, yes, okay, I can appreciate that one.
Okay. Oneg?
So the answer is, in our prayers, the biggest part is the welcoming of the Sabbath bride. You know, what we're going to do in Lecha Dodi. And Shabbat, is one of these extra special times, one of these extra special moments, and the welcoming of royalty, Sabbath Queen, is the pinnacle of Kabbalat Shabbat. And so as we prepare for that, what I want you to do is to turn to somebody near you, and we should each treat each other in this moment as royalty. It doesn't have to be a family member, and maybe shouldn't be a family member. And I want you to say something to them that would make them feel like royalty, in this case, royalty that you like. So say something nice to a person next to you so that we may each feel prepared to welcome the Sabbath Queen as royalty ourselves.
You're doing great. You don't need to yell. This makes it really loud. And you're amazing.
Just getting used to the microphone.
I know, exactly. It's all good. All good. Wonderful, wonderful.
Well, thank you.
Got it.
Thank you for welcoming me, preparing me, and hand-holding of me, which will continue for a few weeks, I'm sure.
Of course it will. And that's all good. All good.
So with each of us feeling like royalty, we turn to, it could be page 20 or slide on screen, and join together in Lecha Dodi.
Yalla, open to Baruchu, page 28, if you choose to.
You may be seated. I feel like Simon didn't say, but wait, I will have to say at some point during Oneg this evening, people are going to have to tell me why this side is so preferential. And in advance, if you feel like I'm not looking at you, it's because as I get used to things, I'm trying to look towards Jenna. So it's nothing against everybody on this side of the room. Hi, buddy. Okay, he's going to help me. On page 30, we read, let's see, what does it have up here? Okay, we read in the Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim bechokhmah poteach she'arim uvitvuna mishaneh itim umachalif et hazmanim umisader et hakohavim bishmurotochem berkia kirtzono borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei chosheh v'chosheh mipnei or umavir yom umevi laila umavdil ben yom uben laila Adonai tzivaot shemo El chai v'kayeh tamid yimloch aleinu leolam vahed Baruch ata Adonai Ha'ma'ariv aravim.
Adonai We continue with chanting Ve'ahavta together, page 36 or on your screen. Ve'ahavta et Adonai elecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'otecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'divartam v'shlitecha v'beitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shokbecha uv'kumecha וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת. Sorry, friends.
You didn't figure I'm extra family friendly, so if anybody's feeling the urge, run around. And that goes for all ages. If you got a little extra, you got to let out.
We continue with Mita Mocha. You know, the moment in which all of us were run into the sea anyway, right?
Here we go.
Oh V'shamru, the people shall joyfully welcome in Shabbat. If you want to dance, if you want to move, if you want to make noise, it is okay. V'shamru, b'nei Yisrael, et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat, Excellent. At this point, we continue our prayer service with our tefillah, our amidah. We ask that you please rise, and we will together do a vote, givorot, kedusha. Elohei Abraham, Elohei Isaac, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Elohei Bilcha, Elohei Zilpah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasnatim Tovim, Bekonei Hakol, Bezocher Chasdei Avot Mimot, Umevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach Umageh, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, B'chayei HaKol Atah, Rav Le'Oshia, Mashiva Ruach Morid HaGashem, Mehakel Chaim B'Chesed, B'chayei HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Micha Mocha Bal Yegurot, Umito Melach, Melech Menit, Umechayem, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'nemana Talach Hayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. Atah HaKadosh v'Shimcha Kadosh, וקדשים בכל יום יעללו חסרה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. We continue with our own silent meditations, with the prayers on the page, with the prayers in your heart. And when you are completed with those prayers, you may be seated. Now comes the fun. We continue with our Torah service, Seder Kriyat HaTorah, the service for the reading of the Torah. We ask that you please rise as we welcome our Hagba Mike up to the bima, and here we go. Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, u'levar Adonai b'Yerushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah you too may be at rest.
It's like the exact same thing I say.
Oh, right? Well, you know, clergy.
Good minds supposedly think alike.
I did not roll it. I'm very sorry. You can call whoever you want. You want to do who wants a joyous one,
Oh, okay.
anything you like.
And you know something. So I was told I get to call up whoever I would like. And I realized that this week we read from the beginning of Shemot, and I have chosen to read the section that's going to sound a lot, part of it's going to sound a lot like the story of Superman. Would you ever think that the folks who wrote it are Jewish? Oh, and she's running away. I was going to say, since the portion that I'm reading deals with a woman being pregnant, that Cantor Jenna would be the best aliyah for it, but she's running away. It's okay. You know, she has a good reason to need these pauses and breaks. So, since we are to a section of newness and to a section that over the upcoming weeks we're going to be talking about leaving behind things that we do not like, if there are people who believe that this year they're going to be leaving behind something that they find less than desirable, I invite one or more of you to come forward. Getting rid of something that you find undesirable. It could be weeds in the yard. It could be jobs that you're retiring from. You know, I feel like there could be almost anything. Oh, now she comes back after I call up other people.
No. Thank you.
Give me a quick moment. Okay. So, Alamod, Kehila, good people. Kehila Tov Ashim. Right here. Baruch Adonai Hamevarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamevarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amin v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. Vayelech ish mi beit Levi, vayikach et bat Levi, vatahar ha'isha v'teled bein, v'teled bein, v'tera oto ki tovu, v'titzpanehu shlosha yerachim, Velo yachlaod hatzinu v'tikach laho teva gomer v'techamora v'chomer uvatzafet v'tasim baha et hayeled v'tasem basuf al safat hayaol v'titatzev achoto merachok l'de'ah ma ye'aseh lo.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah temet v'chayei olam natal b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
So I'm going to invite Jenna to read the first two verses in the English of what I just read, because hopefully this will sort of, be appropriate for her. So chapter 2, verses 1 and 2.
All right.
A man went from the house of Levi, and he took a daughter of Levi. The woman conceived and gave birth to a son. She saw that he was good, and she hid him for 3 months.
She could not hide him any longer, so she took for him a wicker basket and smeared it with clay and pitch. She placed the boy into it and placed it among the reeds at the bank of the river. His sister stationed herself at a distance to know what would be done with him.
And with the Torah open before us, it is a moment in which we, as a community, can take into our hearts those who may be in need of a speedy healing. We are not supermen, but we can pray for those to have that speedy, faster than a bullet healing. Refuah Shlema in our community. At this point, we are thinking of Barbara Becker, Michelle Balin, Earl Benton, Irene Borsis, Sally Burns, Mike Capsuto, Luke Chakran, Richard Eckelman, Christiana Garasek, Adrian Greenberg, Bill Hogue, Cindy Jen, Sue Kibble, Cindy Colson, Shannon Laren, Stephen Lesser, John Levant, Ennis Marcus, Sarah McRobbie, Shara Newman, Terry O'Brien, Steve Ostrin, Susan Perry, Susan Parker, and Avi Perry, Bruce Richardson, Ron Ross, Joe Rocher, Jay Sabick, Mariah Weinberg-Schar, Maury Schulman, Dean Stapleton, George Watson, Doris Willis, Christine Wofford, David Zutz, Sarah Bat Sheva, and Esther Malkachana, but Batya Ruth. Are there any names in the community? Please feel free to say them aloud. Aloud, and those names that are in our hearts be blessed with a speedy refuah shlema of body, mind, and soul, to which together we say,
Amen.
We continue with the lifting and dressing of the Torah. As we all please rise, we welcome Al and Mike together for Hagbah and Galilah. Yep. Vezot HaTorah asher sam Moshe, Vezot HaTorah, Vezot HaTorah asher sam Moshe, Vezot HaTorah, Lifnei Bnei Yisrael, Vezot HaTorah, Al pi Adonai beyad Moshe, Vezot HaTorah, Vezot HaTorah asher sam Moshe, Vezot HaTorah, Vezot HaTorah asher You may be seated. You can invite the kiddos up to listen.
Of course. So for those who would like to come closer for story time, feel free to join up here. Everyone else, feel free to snuggle up with your blankets. It's one of the few times that I guess I won't feel bad if I put you to sleep. But so as I was asking earlier this evening when I managed to confuse myself, under the age of 18, how many people have seen the movie Aladdin? Under the age of 18, we're starting with the younger ones. And so how many wishes does the genie give to Aladdin? Yeah, 3. That is the correct answer. And so stories with 3 wishes are sort of common. And so tonight we are going to hear about 3 brothers who I'm going to give you a foreshadowing hint. They get 3 wishes. So once there was a man who lived a life filled with good deeds, with mitzvot, charity, and justice. When this man was about to die, he called his 3 sons to him and said, "My children, the time of my death is near. I have lived a long life. What I hope and pray for you is that you will live in peace with one another. Just as I have never taken an oath in anger, so you too must follow this path. Quarreling can lead to oath-taking, so try never to quarrel. Love God as your beloved mother and I have taught you. Live in this cottage as your home, and take care of my beautiful spice garden. Guard it from thieves in the night. I bless you, my sons, as Jacob blessed his sons." With tears in their eyes, the sons promised to follow their father's wishes, and the old father gave his blessing to each of his sons. After the father died, the sons faithfully remembered his words and stood watch in the garden, each one taking his turn. One night, as the eldest brother was guarding the place, a stranger mysteriously appeared. "I am Elijah the prophet," said the newcomer, "and I have come to reward you for following your father's wishes. But you may choose only one of 3 wishes: to become wealthy, to have great knowledge, or to marry a good wife." Without a moment's hesitation, the eldest brother cried out, "I want to be rich! I want to have the most money in the world." Elijah took a gold coin from his pocket and placed it in the eldest brother's hand. "This coin will bring you great wealth," said Elijah. When the brother looked to see what was in his palm, Elijah disappeared. The next night, as the second brother was standing in the garden, Elijah suddenly appeared again and offered him the same gifts. "I want to know everything. I want to be the wisest man in the world," replied the second brother. "Through this book, you will become a great scholar," said Elijah as he placed a book in the brother's open hands. As the second brother looked to see what was in his hands, Elijah disappeared. Now on the next night, who was in the garden? The youngest brother. And Elijah appeared. I think you guys might have heard this before. And gave him the same 3 choices. The youngest brother smiled and said, "A good wife is better than riches." He nodded to Elijah, indicating that this was his choice. Elijah smiled too and answered, "Come, we must take a short journey together to find this good wife." And Elijah and the youngest brother started on their search. By evening, they were tired and stopped at an inn. While the young man slept, Elijah, who could understand the language of all animals, listened to the barnyard animals talking to one another.
And what did he hear? The chickens and geese said, "Oh, this young man must have committed a terrible sin if he is to marry the innkeeper's daughter. She is so vain, and her parents are wicked people." Elijah did not like what he heard, and in the morning the two of them left to continue on their way. The next night they stopped at another inn. Elijah again listened to the animals talking, and again he heard how hard-hearted and dishonest the innkeepers were. Once more Elijah was displeased by what he had heard, so in the morning he left with the youngest son, and they continued walking. Late in the afternoon they were tired again, and when they came to a small inn, they decided to stay there for the night. That night, Elijah heard the animals talking with great excitement. "Have you heard? Have you heard? This young man who just arrived must be a righteous man if he is destined to marry our innkeeper's daughter. For she is not only beautiful, but so wise and so kind, just like her parents." Early the next morning, Elijah went to see the innkeeper in order to arrange the marriage between the youngest brother and the innkeeper's daughter. The innkeeper was pleased, but said, "My daughter must give her consent as well. If she agrees, then they will marry." The daughter had seen the handsome young man when he had arrived the night before. She had noticed his manner as he spoke with Elijah, and she had fallen in love with him. So the young woman readily gave her consent, and a marriage was arranged. Elijah performed the ceremony and then disappeared. Soon after, the young couple returned to the young man's home. When they arrived at the cottage, they found that the two brothers had left. The eldest one had bought a mansion and moved there. The second brother was traveling around the world giving lectures, and wherever he went, he was acclaimed as a great scholar and chocham. So the young couple planted the garden, sold the spices and herbs they raised in order to earn a living, had children, and lived together peacefully in their small home. Several years passed. Elijah decided to find out what had happened to the three brothers since he had visited them in the garden. Master of disguises that he was, Elijah assumed the appearance of a beggar and went to the rich brother's mansion. The servants refused to